Hello and welcome to the Buckets and Tea NBA show. I'm your host, Cathryn and Kris. Thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode. Today, oh boy, I'm going to tell you already, we have a very fun, very special episode. Friends to the show, we're going to talk about the draft. We're going to talk about Nick Nurse performing at Toronto Jazz Fest. This is going to be wild. Please welcome back Chris Myers and Matt McCready. How you both doing?
Doing well. How are you, Cathryn?
I'm doing okay. I just, first of all, anybody listening, happy Pride. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. I went out 3 nights in a row and I'm like dead. I'm so dead. But anyway, Matt, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to hear about this big Nick Nurse thing.
Oh, yes. So Kris and I last night, we're recording this Monday, June 27th. Last night, Nick Nurse made a bit of a cameo at the Toronto Jazz Festival, performing with a Prince cover band. What were they called again, Kris?
Oh, they are not a cover band.
They're not a cover band. They're the band.
They were Prince's band. They're called the Power Generation.
The Power Generation.
They were Prince's touring band for a very, very long time. It is. These were the musicians that were playing with him and making albums with him. So
yes,
that's who we saw last night.
Yeah, and so Nick Nurse.
Sorry, and Nick Nurse is the lead singer of Prince's old band.
No, he just made a cameo. He made a bit of an appearance with the band. He kind of like came out at the beginning to introduce everybody, and then they did some, a lot of Purple Rain stuff. Some of the other classic hits, and then Nick Nurse came on at the end with his guitar to do the song Purple Rain. Now, Kris, do we want to start off at the very top, just talking about this whole guitar situation and Nick Nurse playing?
Yeah,
quote unquote playing.
So
go ahead, take it away.
So I don't want to destroy the magic.
No, but we're gonna break news right now.
We're gonna break news. So I have something of a live audio background, and his guitar was not plugged in, or if it was plugged in, it was plugged in and turned on. I mean, there was I had video recorded. I recorded the performance on my phone just so I had it for my own personal reference, and the guitar was plugged into a cord. But I know the sound of that Telecaster, and I did not hear it at all. And you could also kind of just tell that he was just sort of trying to strum along with it. But it was him singing. He did sing along with the band. So
he said the word Purple Rain with the band a couple times in the chorus. Yeah. He didn't contribute any other vocals. But he was not plugged in. And that is hilarious, because it's why are you... I mean, we love Nick Nurse here, so it's no disrespect, but it's also why are you there?
Yep.
Why you don't need to do this?
No.
Are you asking the question on Nick Nurse's behalf? Why are you there, or on the
organizers? What I'm just asking in general, but my theory is that this is PR for the Toronto Jazz Festival, and they hired him to do a little thing.
Would you have been there otherwise if Nick Nurse wasn't there?
No, because it's the same weekend as Pride. It's conflicting with Pride. I would rather go to a Pride event, to be honest. But if it happened at a different time and it wasn't competing with something else, then I would check out the Jazz Fest.
Yeah, fair enough.
I
think you're probably right. And I think maybe they went through the rehearsal earlier that day and someone's like, maybe we should just not have Nick's guitar on.
Yeah.
And he was doing press stuff all throughout the weekend with Arkells, and I'm very sure that was actually Max Kerman's guitar that he was playing, because I've seen Max with the same guitar, and it was the same guitar that he had when he did the appearance with Arkells during when they just won the championship. It was the exact same Fender Telecaster, or the same model. It may not be the exact same guitar, but it's the Telecaster that he played. What kind of doesn't really make sense to me is that I guess maybe because I'm of the opinion that it was totally a PR stunt, because it's not that Nick Nurse doesn't know how to play a musical instrument, just not the one that he showed up with on stage, because he's a piano player. And I've heard him play, not only have I heard him play piano, I've heard him play Purple Rain on piano. So I guess maybe it's harder to get like a second set of keys on the board on the stage and have him like play keys or whatnot, but he could have actually really played with them if they had just decided to give him a different instrument. And that's kind of what boggles my mind a little bit from like a musical standpoint. It's like, it's not that he's faking it, so to speak, because he doesn't necessarily have to, but I guess like because like the meme was that he carries his guitar around and travels and on the road and stuff like that, is like, I guess he kind of feels beholden to have to perform the meme again. And it's like, even though it's not necessary, because he's a perfectly good piano player. And that's just like, that's what drives me nuts. It's just like, he does know how to play a musical instrument well. He plays piano. I know it's not as exciting or whatnot, or not as like daddy or memeish to like play keys, but he can play keys decently. I don't understand. And I say that as a key player. I'm someone who plays keys. It's like, he can play keys. I'm like, that bothered me a little bit, because it's like, when I heard that he was going to play the jazz festival, I was like, oh, is he going to actually play keys on a song? And no, like, that's what bothered me. It's just, no, it's just like it makes me a little angry. Fan of Nick, who knows that he's perfectly capable of playing a musical instrument. I feel a little depressed that he has to do the guitar, even though he's not particularly good at it.
Maybe he doesn't have to. I don't think he's like completely being forced to do this. Like I know,
like I would have done it too. Like, but it's just sort of like, he could have actually played with them as well. Like, because he's
if someone is, I'm a massive Janet Jackson fan. Like, outside of all the Raptors stuff, if someone was like, "Hey, Cathryn, do you want to fake playing an instrument with Janet Jackson's band?" I would say no. I'm not.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't do that to myself. I would not. I would want to be with them in some other capacity. I wouldn't. That's just too weird for me. I can't do it. Whatever. I'm probably an idiot. That's fine.
If anyone gives me the opportunity to play a fake instrument on stage with a real band, I'm taking it no matter what band it is.
Just because it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
But we're comedians.
Earnestly,
so
earnestly it is
funny.
insane.
But to do it earnestly is weird. That's okay. That's where I'm going with this.
I'm friends with a member of the Arkells, and so there's like a lot of stuff that I can't say about
disclose.
Nick. Yeah, I can't really disclose because I've been told not to. But I will say that like Nick Nurse has like a true aspiration to make it as like a performing artist.
Well, he should just practice Purple Rain on the guitar a little more, and then do the thing. Like, because I think he's like probably capable. Like, I don't play guitar, but it's just like, I feel like if he put his mind to it, he could do it. And maybe it was all just so last minute that he just didn't get the chance to like practice and like finesse it. But I feel like Nick Nurse has said he's like a huge Prince fan. I feel like maybe that's just a song you got to have in your arsenal, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the whole fake guitar playing thing. The other thing I want to say, and I haven't posted on social media yet, but I will. But I filmed Nick Nurse's entire performance like a total psychopath. And what I mean by that is that, like, you know, in the movie Love Actually, when the guy is like supposed to film his like best friend's like wedding, but he's only filming the bride the entire time. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to edit this like video of your wedding together, and it's just footage of the bride and nothing else. That's what it was like, me filming Nick Nurse during this performance, because the band was incredible and the singer was incredible and the performance was amazing. Actually, the entire concert was amazing, but my phone was only on Nick pretending to play the guitar. the entire time. So I'm gonna post it's like an 8-minute video. So I think I'm gonna put it down into some clips and post it on my social media, maybe later today or tomorrow. But yeah, it was a real Love Actually moment for me. I actually started to feel weird about it midway through because I'm like, wow, this band's really killing it, and my eyes are not on them. So
we've all seen great bands. We haven't seen an NBA head coach pretend to play with a great band. That's something to document.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. I appreciate you justifying my behavior.
I got the wide, so I got the whole stage.
Yeah, Kris has a wide shot. I do not. So between the two of us, you could cut it together and make us look like normal people. So now is actually the most interesting part, and that is so they ended their set with Purple Rain, but then of course they came on and did an encore without Nick Nurse, and then they were looking for some people to join the stage, and this is where Kris started to make some real interesting moves, and Kris, I'd like you to tell the story from here if you're okay with that.
So I don't know where the inspiration came from, but the one of the band members was pointing out at people in the crowd who were being clearly dancing and being enthusiastic, and I put my hand up and he was like, you. So he pointed at me and Cathryn, and I'm like, Cathryn,
to join the band on stage.
Yeah, go on the stage. Cathryn, we're going to go.
They had fake guitars waiting for us and everything. No kidding.
Yeah, it was our chance to go on the stage
That's surreal
and dance with the band. So I'm like, Cathryn, come on, Cathryn, we're going. And Cathryn, what? I'm like, no, we're going on the stage. And she's like, what? And I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I hesitated.
Grab our stuff.
Really? This is your chance to maybe dance with Nick Nurse.
Right? And then, so we're going to the back stage entrance to the side, off to the right, off to stage left. We go back and we're like, I'm going up the stairs to go on the stage to go dance because I'm also a fan of the Power Generations. I wanted to go dance, and Cathryn was with me, but then right out of the corner of my eye, I see Nick Nurse, and I wave to him and give him a thumbs up, and he was like, oh hey, and so there were some other fans off to the side who saw him as well, and they were like, can we go get your picture? And he was like, yeah, we'll go picture. So I let Nick go take the picture. And then instead of going on and dancing with the backing band of my favorite artist of all time with Cathryn, I decide to go say hello to Nick Nurse. And this is not, and just full disclosure, this is not the first time I've met him. But I went up to say hi to Nick before going on the stage, and I said, do you remember this so-and-so thing that you did? And so back in 2020, I had cancer. I was diagnosed around the same time the pandemic hit. Not a great time for me. And then Cathryn and another friend of mine, for some reason, decided to reach out to the Raptors organization or talk to someone. And somehow it got to him that I wasn't doing well and I was going through cancer treatment and whatnot. And so one day I get a message from the Raptors saying, Coach Nurse wanted to send you a personal message, to get well and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, what? And so I get this minute-long message from the Raptors from Nick Nurse, and he's like, thank you for being a fan. And it was very, very sweet and very, very earnest, and he filmed it while he was in the bubble. And I was also instructed not to share the video on social media, so I can't share it, but I have shown it to Cathryn, and she's seen it, and it was a really, really sweet thing that he did. So I decided to go up to him and remind him. It's do you remember when you were in the bubble that you sent this video to a woman that had cancer? And he was and then his face just goes white, and he was like, oh my God, yes, I do. What happened? And I said to him, I was that woman. I'm here alive and cancer-free right now in front of you. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so happy that you're okay. And he grabs me and gives me a bear hug. And I'm like, And now I was like, now I'm not someone who gets starstruck, and I also was not starstruck at this moment. It was like this weird, like, I had this weird, like, moment with Nick Nurse where he just, like, was, like, really happy that I was okay, and, like, just, like, grabbed me and hugged me, and I'm like, holy shit! What?
That's very surreal.
That is so weird. And, it was not in a bad way, but it's just like, this is very, very surreal. I'm having a very, very, very human moment with this random person who happens to be the head coach of the Toronto Raptors.
That's amazing.
Late at night in the rain, and it's hot outside, and it's weird. And then Cathryn's right here beside me,
and I'm just like, and I'm Cathryn,
and I'm very.
I know a lot about you,
and I'm very sure, like, he actually wants to hold some semblance of a conversation to me, like, with me about it. And he was like, I'm so used to hearing, you know, I see friends and stuff like that get cancer. I'm so used to hearing it go the other way. So, like, I'm genuinely, like, really happy that you're okay. And I'm like,
oh, that's nice.
Thank you. It's so sweet. And I'm like, and he was like, and then I'm like motioning Cathryn. I'm like, this is my friend Cathryn. She's also, like, a really, like, she's really cool and a big fan.
Yeah, I was very like, hi. Like, I got all shy about it.
Yeah,
Nick Nurse, that's your name?
Yeah. Cathryn was very shy about it. And
I don't have a weekly segment dedicated to you called the Nick Nurse Hottie Highlight of the Week.
I bet he knows about that, by the way. I guarantee you he knows about it.
No way. No,
that guy's
I don't think he does.
He seems a little obsessed with being famous a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like, if there's
I
would be shocked if he doesn't know about it.
That'd be so weird.
I would be
anyway.
shocked. Because, like, I'm pretty sure he recognized me as well. Because, like, again, like, I've met him more than once. So, like,
I think he did recognize you.
And, and he was like, hey, he's like, oh, do you want a picture? And I'm like, yeah, but I want you to get a picture with Cathryn. Cathryn, come here. And so I kicked the camera up, and I mean, I'm in the picture as well, but I'm trying to get, like, Cathryn and
it's
Nick
like bad selfie arm, doing your best, stretching, trying to get the group in,
trying to do it, and I'm like apologizing. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the best picture as I possibly can. He's like, oh, don't worry, like, yeah, you two look really nice. I'm not so sure about myself, but you both look really great. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And he was really nice, and like we like. And then afterward, he was like, he hugged me one more time. It's like, again, like, I'm so happy that you're okay.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. And that's what happened is I somehow managed, because I'm a big fan of the Power Generation. And I did really want to go up on stage to go dance with them in front of the crowd and go like crazy.
We did not. We did not make it on stage.
Did not make it on that stage because I saw an opening where I could like say thank you to Nick Nurse because I didn't expect him to be there, and I'm like, oh no, wait, you're like literally standing right here. I have to say thank you to you because what you did for me, or you took like that time out of your day where it was obviously like a really stressful time because you're in the bubble, and like that thing was like a boiler room for like 2 months. And the fact that you just decided to like take some time out of your busy schedule just to say hi and wish me well and hope that I pull through a hard time was like a really kind thing. So I had to take the opportunity to like thank him and also have Cathryn meet him.
Yeah.
Equally so just so I could have Cathryn say hello so they could get their picture together because I know how much Cathryn loves Nick, loves him like even more than I do. And
what a crazy sliding doors moment where it's like, how many times in your life are you presented with two options, and then you have two options to like go dance with your favorite band or like meet somebody who helped you through one of the most difficult times of your life?
And like, I picked the latter.
Yeah, you made the right choice. That's a beautiful story.
Yeah,
it was incredible. And then after we took our photos, we just got the hell out of there because we were for sure going to get in trouble if we were backstage any longer. Like it was a little like security was like, who are those girls? What are they? Run. But I was just being like the mom, making sure we still had like our purses and umbrellas with us. Like I was very that person in the moment. But yeah, we got to meet Nick Nurse, which was pretty incredible and unexpected and really wonderful.
How does he smell?
Neutral.
I didn't get any weird BO off Nick Nurse, so that was good. And then someone has a nose for that kind of thing, so no, Nick Nurse doesn't smell like anything in particular.
Okay. I've never really thought about how he smells before, so I thought maybe this might be a weird insight.
I didn't think to like lean in and get like a big whiff or anything, but yeah, I'm gonna say neutral.
Sniff him.
He does. Yeah. You know what? He actually does come across like the kind of guy that would have like a real like cologne situation, but that was not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's outside and it's raining. I'm sure it's not.
Also like one thing I thought of, Kris, afterwards is I owned the Nick Nurse hat and I can't believe I didn't wear it. I don't know why I didn't wear it. I should have worn it. Like for me, so the Nick Nurse hat, the one that I have, does not have like that back like clip part or like the adjustable part.
Yeah.
So I can't put my hair through it in the back. And like, if for anyone just like listening, like I have big curly hair. So the hat doesn't really fit on my head. So I'd have to like flat iron my hair to wear the hat. So I didn't think to do it, but I was like, oh, like that would have been really cool. Although, except now that I'm saying this out loud, it was raining. So that would have made my hair curly all over again. So it would have been a disaster potentially.
So did you want to wear the hat just to complain to Nick Nurse about the hat and how you can't wear it?
Yeah, literally I would.
Yeah.
I flat ironed my hair for you, Nick. I know you don't know what that's like. But that's like an hour out of my life, you know.
I bet Nick Nurse spends a lot of time on his hair. Like I'm somebody
someone does, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm balding myself, you know, and like the more you bald, the more you kind of have to like work on it a little bit to make it seem less bald. And he's getting up there to the point where it's like almost a point of no return.
Yeah.
I think before, at least pre-pandemic, he probably had like a stylist or something like that who was like helping him pick out his suits and things like that.
I miss the suits a lot. I miss the suits.
Coaches should have to wear suits or just the uniform, one or the other. Pure makeup.
Yeah. Like in baseball, they just they look like the players and they have the ball caps on.
Yeah, totally.
They have their own number. You can buy their game worn jerseys. If you're an older, more hefty gentleman, you can buy their game worn jerseys. And so you don't have to feel bad because you too get to have your own number. You get to be a coach.
100%. Yeah. And the number's just their age or weight. Like it's just to further demean them even more.
What I just told you is true. I did not make that up, by the way.
I'm so sorry. I was trying to like make sure I was prepped a little for my next topic here. And then I missed what you said, which is brutal for a podcast. I'm sorry. Can you say it again and we'll figure it out?
Are you talking to me? Sorry.
Kris.
Our next topic?
No, I think you said something and I missed it.
No, I was talking about baseball uniforms and how.
Oh, yeah.
Like how coaches in baseball wear baseball, like the actual baseball uniform itself.
Yeah.
So like, it should be funny if like all the coaches on the sidelines were also wearing like jerseys and like sleeves underneath.
Shorts. Everyone's legs.
Jordans, you know.
Oh my god. Yeah. That'd be my dream. Funny. Okay. Amazing. So that's our big Nick Nurse story. I hope all our listeners and viewers on YouTube really enjoyed that. Let's move on and talk a little bit about the NBA draft. Not as
24
exciting.
24 minutes into the episode, we finally get over just Nick Nurse.
And we still have a Nick Nurse Hottie Highlight of the week. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. That was for sure it. We are not ending this podcast with another highlight.
Yeah, Nick Nurse spread.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Actually, maybe I could say something for the end there. But anyway, let's talk about the draft. It happened last Thursday. Matt, you for sure follow the draft more than anyone I personally know who doesn't actually do full-time draft coverage for a living.
It's a real loser moment on my point. How
no, not at all.
It is. It straight up is, and that's fine. I'm happy with it.
This is to get the opinions of fans and comedians. So, Matt, as a fan and a comedian, what did you think of this draft? And which prospect are you most excited about?
Oh, I think like there's a few prospects I'm pretty excited about. I'm excited for the two Raptors people. Raptors picked Koloko, 33, and then Ron Harper Jr. They signed afterwards, and those two are pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited for Keegan Murray, who like the Kings drafted fourth. Most people were predicting Ivy was going to go there, but they picked Keegan. So it's just kind of interesting to see like somebody go against the board at 4 and then see how they turn out, to just like repeat the Scotty Barnes thing maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shaden Sharp from London, Ontario, who went 7th, is like the most exciting person to see for sure, because like no one knows how he's played like 15 games that mean anything, including in high school. So it's like, how can you really project this guy? But if you watch his footage, like he looks like a number 1 pick. He looks so cool. There's like rumors that the Raptors were going to trade OG for the 7th pick. And when they picked Shaden Sharp, I was like, maybe the Raptors know something about Shaden and they're going to trade OG for Shaden. I'm glad they didn't, but at the same time, who knows? Maybe in like 3 years, we'd be like, oh my God, could you believe that we could have gotten Shaden Sharp for OG?
Yeah, but I feel like that is a trade prospect that only you are going to remember 3 years from now. Because it didn't really happen. But yeah, I hear you. The Raptors are still, I think, are still going to have a very interesting off season. But yeah, Kris, what did you think of any of the topics? Anyone in particular you're excited to see?
Yeah, definitely all the ones that Matt mentioned. I also really want to shout out Benedict Mathurin. He went number 6 with the Pacers. He was also Canadian, so you had back-to-back Canadian picks. And then the Pacers also drafted another Canadian at the top of the 2nd round named Andrew Nembhard, who I've been following since 2018, 2019, since he was with the Florida Gators. And then transferred to Gonzaga, and he also played a significant role in the FIBA Canadian basketball run. So it was really interesting to see the Pacers decide to go with 2 very good Canadian prospects. I also think Nembhard's a big steal at the top of the 2nd round. I think Nembhard could have had potential to like get a higher pick if he really wanted to. I think that's a really good fit for the Pacers, and as well as in terms of like what they need, just in case, people like Brogdon start, deciding to move on from that team, or they're going in like a new direction. So I think those are going to be some really interesting picks for a Pacers rebuild or relaunch or whatever they're planning to do within the next few years, because they're obviously like, once they traded Sabonis, like, okay, they're going into rebuild mode pretty much. They're trying to retool and try to fix what they have or tear it down or whatever. So those were really interesting moves for me. I thought Koloko for the Raptors that's a great choice. We needed a big, we needed someone at a backup center. He's probably going to be doing some time in the G League first before he starts contributing a little bit more to like the Raptors main team. But I think that a lot of people were really relieved to see his name go and have him be part of the Raptors, and he seems to be pretty excited to join the team as well. So I'm really, really happy about that. Seems to have a high floor as well. I don't think that like he might not be like an amazing contributor, but I think he definitely has a lot of potential to contribute meaningfully to the team in one way or another with his size and his length. So yeah, I think that it was a good draft for Canada. It's a good draft for teams. Those are my general feelings. I just wanted to add that nice little Canadian shout out perspective.
Yeah, Nembhard rules. I think he's going to be great.
I love him so much.
What do you like most about Nembhard's game? Because you seem to be a pretty big expert on him, maybe.
I think he has a lot of potential to be a good floor general. I think he has a lot of potential to be like a really good playmaker and passer, and he tries really hard. He's a real keener. That's what I really like about Nembhard.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. None of you gave me the predictable Chet Holmgren answer.
It is interesting to see how someone with those physical dimensions is going to play. Like, I'm super interested to see how Chet's going to be. Because, like, if you just look at the numbers, like, Chet for sure should have been the number 1 pick. Like, his numbers are, like, video game insane numbers. But he is like his shoulders are also. But I mean, the league seems to be trending towards skinnier players, anyways. Like throughout the last 60 years, so to predict it's going to swing the other way seems foolhardy. So I don't know. I'm interested to see Chet as well, even though.
I mean, he's a 7-footer and he weighs 175 pounds.
I think he weighs 195 pounds.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm 5'10" and I weigh more than 195 pounds. Like that's a skinny man. I'm also skinny. A big woman, but that's a skinny man. Like it's just that is like whatever. I think it's gonna be like I think he'll probably gain a little bit of weight, but he'll probably always be skinny. But people were worried about Durant being too skinny, and it really hasn't stopped him. So I think people 100%. Make too much out of that, and it is what it is. Sometimes I feel like I look at Chet and it looks like he's still growing into the rest of his face somehow.
His face is somehow the skinniest looking part of his body. Yeah. It's very odd.
That's just me being mean. I'm sorry. But so aside from that, I also wanted to ask you, who do you think has Rookie of the Year potential? And I want to go a little off the grid with this and say Benedict Mathurin, because I just think the Pacers have the potential to have a decent season next year. Like, I don't know if they're going to be a playoff team, but I just think like they're young. They have a good coach. Like they have Tyrese Halliburton there, Buddy Hield. Like, I just think like the Pacers have some real potential. And I think a lot of these awards are like expectations versus results. So I think he'll have the like, no one expected this out of someone like his pick, but here he is. I just think he has the potential to have like a really big impact next season.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm worried about the Pacers as a team because I don't think they have like any forwards like on their entire roster. They have like O'Shea Brissett and
TJ Warren.
He's unrestricted free agent.
Oh, right. So he might not be there for years. Long.
Yeah, so who knows?
And Isaiah Jackson.
Oh, that's true. They have Jackson, yeah. I kind of view him a little bit more as like a center a little bit, but yeah, no, that is totally fair. I
don't actually pay a ton of attention to the Pacers. But I do think they have some really young, interesting prospects.
For sure, yeah. I mean, Duarte is great. Tyrese. I think Tyrese has a chance to win Most Improved Player this year. I could see him going for like 23 and 8. For sure. For the Rookie of the Year, like Chet's definitely like up there. Like Chet's gonna get all he can eat in with the Thunder. I also think like his block numbers are probably going to be pretty wild. I kind of view him as like a Boucher if Boucher was bigger and could pass and maybe shoot a little bit better, which is like a valuable player. But I would probably go with Keegan Murray as the chance to win Rookie of the Year more than anyone, just because I think he's just able to score in every single way, and I think scoring can help you win.
Awesome. I agree. Kris, what do you think?
Yep, I think Keegan's probably going to be a good prospect for rookie for the exact same reasons. And I think that with our own Scotty Barnes, I think his ultimate case was the fact that he was able to contribute offensively like right away, like 2 games in, like that first big game he had against Boston where we got our first dub, and he had he put up like 20 points, like more than 20 points that game. And wow. I think he had the highest number that game. And so he was contributing right away and was putting up significant numbers. Like just even throughout the first 10 games, he was averaging really, really, really good numbers. Even if he wasn't the greatest defensively, he was definitely like contributing right away offensively to make up for it. So I think following the same pattern, I think Keegan has a really good potential. Like if he can demonstrate that he's contributing offensively to a team right away and really having an impact, I think that's going to be a good case.
Love it.
No. I wonder maybe if Orlando's going to pull a little bit of a Raptors thing and go jumbo size lineups, because they could throw out Wendell Carter Jr., Jonathan Isaac, Wendell Carter, and then you have Banchero, who's 6'10", you know, and then you have like those 4 guys. You could maybe have one small guard, like even Suggs is like 6'5", so you could have these like big lineups. So maybe Banchero, and like there's not too many people in that lineup who like initiate the offense. So very possible that the first pick wins Rookie of the Year. It wouldn't be the first time.
I don't know if you got to tune into the draft, but I found it pretty boring.
Well, it sucked to have Woj there, man. Woj, like, I turned off Twitter for the draft to keep his stuff from popping up, and then he comes in and just like, it's weird that this
pops
guy
up on TV.
All he does is ruin things. Like there's no advantage. The world's not a better place. The NBA is not a better place. The draft coverage isn't better by Woj being involved. Him and Shams ruining the picks. Like imagine how exciting it would be for Banchero to be picked number 1 first with no one knowing what was going to happen. That time when Anthony Bennett, like 8 years ago, was the surprise number 1 pick and shocked everybody. That won't happen again. And it's terrible.
Yeah, I love this hot we don't like Woj take, but no, I wanted to ask like what would you add? Like what's one element you would add to the NBA draft to make it more interesting? Yeah, Matt, go ahead.
Woj and Shams locked in a submarine beneath the Arctic Ocean. That's the first thing that popped into my head. To make it more exciting, like, you know, like professional wrestlers, they get entrances, right? Like, so maybe they can pick a song and like regalia, pyro when they get picked. I also like, I liked it better when Stern was the commissioner for only this specific reason, and having a really short person shake the draftees' hands makes them look like giants. So I don't like Silver being like.
Am I about to Google David Stern height?
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, he's like 5'2" or something. He was perfect. You want a very small person. They should bring back Muggsy Bogues and let him shake his.
5'9".
He was 5'9". Well, you know, 5'2", 5'9". That's fine. Could you imagine calling most?
I want to know Adam Silver's height.
Adam Silver, I bet, is like 6'3". He seems tall.
He seems tall. Oh, now they're giving it to me in meters. What's 1.9?
1.9. Oh, that's 6'3" exactly.
He's tall.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have no idea. How tall is he?
190 centimeters. He's tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
anyway.
settled. Adam Silver's tall, everybody.
Yep.
Sorry.
Kris, what would you change?
I would want live footage of Shams and Woj in that Arctic submarine. And I want footage.
Yeah, it's full of ants and spiders.
And I want footage of the offices deliberating over their picks.
Oh yeah.
I want to see the managers. I want to see like Masai and Bobby on the phone being the phones with everybody in the office, and then Coach just kind of like twiddling his thumbs. I said my piece, guys.
Our coach just being like, I have to learn this song in the corner, trying to play his guitar.
I said my piece, guys. And that's and I want to see more of all the different teams' brain trusts, just like fretting over picks and just the chaos inside of the offices, like it's like In the Loop or something like that. And there's like one really sweary Scottish guy or something. Anyway, that's what I want to see, and I want to see. Maybe we could do different. We could do different ships for Shams and Woj every year, like next year. German U-boat or something. That'd be great.
Yeah,
they're locked in the room, guys.
How do we make the ship worse?
I love all of that. For me, I want to pitch like an entire reality TV show that happens prior to the draft. Like the draft is actually the season finale of the show. Cool. So we get them all living together. Let's use that draft
together.
Yeah, let's get the draft combine in there, right? That's what they got to go through during the day. But then they all live in the same house. And that's how we get to know them, through drama in the house. I would rather get to know them through that than have to watch NCAA basketball. So I want to get to know them through the NBA Draft Combine reality TV show, I'll already have my favorites. We'll already have our villains. And then the finale is the draft. And then that way we're already so emotionally invested in all of them as people rather than just getting to know them.
Sounds great.
And we can also incorporate your ideas of having Woj and Shams in a submarine for the finale. Why not? They could they could literally host it from the submarine, and then we cut back to the house. Except I don't think I want to keep them down there that long. It just
they're
feels
both
unfair
just
to their,
screaming. They get no reception on their phones.
Unfair to their families.
You don't think that Woj and Shams' families are already suffering enough? Those guys are like constantly on Twitter. Like, there's no way they have normal conversations. I bet they don't see movies, you know?
No.
Yeah, they probably don't have the time.
No, and they always have to be accessible, you know? They've decided to commit their lives to ruining people's news. It's terrible.
Yeah. But we should feature that in the show heavily. And we could still have your wrestling style walk-ins and all of it. I think it all works collectively.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. So let's move on to our Raptors Homer moment. We kind of jumped the gun here a little bit talking about the draft, but I wanted to get your opinions on our new additions, particularly our 33rd pick. He was 33, right? Christian Koloko. Yeah. I mean, he seems really promising. He seems like he's really good on the defensive end. I have a feeling that he's going to become like a Khem Birch style replacement. I think that's who he's going to be competing for minutes. Yes, he might start in the G League, but that's kind of a bit of a sore spot for us. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did get a decent amount of NBA minutes. I know Kris gave us some of her thoughts a bit earlier, but Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Koloko. I mean, he'll only get minutes over Birch if it's for developmental purposes or if Birch's knee is still messed up. I'm still kind of high on Birch, assuming that he can come back. But if he can't, then yeah, Koloko can definitely get minutes there. Yeah, I mean, he's super long. He's his defensive timings are good. He's got like potential to switch. He only really played drop coverage in college, so it should be interesting to see if he can switch and how that will look exactly. Yeah, I mean, he's a 33 pick, right? So if he develops into anything eventually, it's good. I think the Raptors fans' perception of what type of player you usually get there is skewed based on Pascal and Norm. But you know, there's like sometimes you hit a home run, and sometimes there are a dozen other players that have been picked there that you forget about immediately. But yeah, I think he has potential to be like a good backup center eventually. Yeah. But I mean, I'm worried about offense because like his best role is to like finish lobs and stuff like that, maybe. And you know, Fred is so bad at lob passes, kind of like it's just not his go-to. Like Fred's like such a pros or cons type of player, and he puts such little pressure on the basket. I don't know if he'll be able to work super well with Koloko. I don't know how those two can kind of be on the floor at the same time.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, this team is, you know, for all the trade talks that have existed, I mean, this team really needs some offense. Like, I love that we value defense, and I would stand by those values. But man, if like Gary Trent Jr. or somebody ends up in a trade, it's like, wow, that's so much of our offense. Like, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, their undrafted guy, Ron Harper Jr., though, I actually kind of like him as a prospect a little bit more than Koloko. Because he's like pure offense. Like he led Rutgers. Like he was amazing there. Like he can shoot the shit out of the ball. Like he's a physical driver. Like he had, you know, like there's that saying that like body fat is potential in disguise. And he is like, he's got like a early days Kyle Lowry type of body. But you
I've never heard that saying before. Is that a saying?
Yeah, it's like I'm cleaning it up a little bit.
I know. I need to put that on my own wall for myself. That my own body fat is potential in disguise. It's like very good motivation for me.
Yeah, you know, like you know, if he's already a good athlete, he's a surprising athlete. So if he's able to lose like some of that body weight and like get down, like maybe get into the Raptors conditioning system, then maybe they have like a true undrafted steal. That being said, again,
Amazing.
he's undrafted, but we'll see. I'm pretty big into Ron Harper.
Cool.
Kris, do you have any thoughts on Harper?
I guess because I didn't pay that much attention down the draft, I actually have no context for Harper. Like, I just know the name. I didn't do any research on Ron Harper.
He has no, that's fine.
That's fair. I only did since the draft.
Yeah.
He has the same name as this like indie 90s singer.
Yes.
There was a singer in the 90s named Ron Harper.
Was Dad played in the NBA in the 90s?
Yeah, so not the same person. I don't think he was also an NBA player. I feel like I'd remember that. Just ages me that I hear the name Ron Harper and I think of this like 90s singer instead of just who our draft pick is. So, I'm just venting here. I'm really excited. It'll be very telling in the coming week or so if the Raptors like make any moves or if they just like really double down and believe in these picks for the long term and to be a part of our regular rotation or not. So, we'll have to wait and see there, but I'm excited for them. And I'm also excited to see if the Raptors are going to make some moves or not. I know there's been a lot of trade rumors and stuff, but free agency is coming up and, I prefer to recap than to speculate. So, I'll save my thoughts on that for now. But look,
can I say one more thing about Raptors rookies, if you don't mind?
Please.
I do think that if Champagnie had the year that he had in the G League and the NBA and was able to be drafted, I think he would be a lottery pick. Like Champagnie is so good, not so good defensively. He's good defensively. He's so good on the offensive boards, and he shot like 40% on threes with like a good amount of threes attempted. Like his shooting stroke looks good. Like I went to go see a couple 905 games and he crushed it each time. And like not hesitating to shoot, like to get like a true 3-and-D player who maybe has like a little bit of upside on kind of stuff. And like his offensive rebounding is astronomically good. I love him. He had the best like plus minus per 48 minutes on the team last year. There's that stretch that he played in like early January before he like basically lost eligibility, where like he was on the court for a ton of great moments. He had that tip in against the Cavaliers that didn't count. I think Champagnie's going to be big this year.
Yeah, you know what? I got to see a 905 game and Champagnie and Dalano Banton were far and beyond the best players on the court. So yeah, I definitely think and hope he has an NBA future for sure.
Yeah, and Banton, if he can get the shot going, then he's got an amazing upside. We just have to see if that's going to happen.
Okay, so that brings us to our Nick Nurse Hottie Highlight of the week. And no one's asking for this. Stop. I think everyone's asking for this. I'm gonna say this. So by coincidence, last night, very serendipitous, after we had our photo with Nick Nurse, we bumped into an old friend of mine named Greg, who happened to be working the Toronto Jazz Fest. And Greg and I worked on this idea a while ago. I ended up just making it for fun, but it was the Nick Nurse Happy and Angry at Refs calendar. So it's like every month is a photo of him smiling and laughing, and then a second photo of him angry and yelling at a ref. And it's a really great calendar. I ended up making one for Kris, I think for Christmas or something. Yes. And it's really fun. And he keeps telling me, like, you need to make that calendar for real, man. You need to keep making that calendar for real. But I don't have the rights to any of these photos.
No.
So I don't know how I would ever pull that off. But if someone knows how I can get rights to the photos to make this calendar, I would make it. And I would do it for charity. Like I would just, I just think that would be incredible. But the Nick Nurse Happy and Angry at Refs 2023 calendar.
I love it. I would get that calendar for sure.
I would like that to be a goal for this podcast. And if I can figure out a way to get the rights to the photos without it costing me so much money, then I would do it. And I would donate the profits to a charity.
So I made somebody a calendar last Christmas, and it was so expensive to get it printed. How much, like, where did you go to get your like calendar done?
Staples.
Yeah, was it cheap?
It was like $15.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna go there next time.
Well, how much did you spend?
Like the printing house quoted me originally at like $200.
What?
This is an anti-ad for the printing house. I ended up going to like a random like print shop down the street. I got it done for like more than that, more than what you paid, but like $35.
I mean, I don't know what like the quality of the paper and the images were, but I mean, Kris, I think you'd agree that the quality was pretty good.
No, it was good. Actually, Staples is actually really underrated for like if you want to do, say you're an artist and you want to do you're doing a show, you're not going to be selling like original pieces for like $300-400 a piece, but you want to have something that you can sell at a show for like $10 or $15. A lot of artists I know go to Staples to get like those like dollar prints of like 11 by 17 or 8 by 10s, sell them for $10, and you make a ton of money, and they're all really good quality. So yeah, I'm all for that's a little trade secret right there. Is like if you need quick prints of something, Staples.
Wow, and there's tons of Staples all over the GTA that you can go and visit any time of the week.
Yeah, I'd just like to let our listeners know that we're not sponsored by Staples or anyone to my knowledge.
I mean, you can also get it delivered, I suppose.
Yes, if there are sponsors on this podcast, I apologize.
No, this as they say on TNT, this podcast is sullied by sponsors. So unsullied, yeah, very sullied,
very sullied by Nick Nurse and
we're
Staples.
very sullied. Oh my god, we are unsullied by sponsorship. But anyway, okay, let's wrap it up there. What a weird time, but also a great time, and I love this so much. And I apologize for not being as up on the draft. I'm 3 days hungover at this point.
It's all good.
You have been sullied by alcohol and Nick Nurse.
I have very much.
The 3-day Nick Nurse hangover is hitting.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Kris, let's start with you. Thanks again for joining us on the pod, and let us know where people can find you on the internet.
Great. I mostly hang around on Twitter. You can follow my personal account at Kris__Myers. It's Kris with a K, M with just one E. And then I also do a lot of other fun stuff on Twitter as well that you can find through my bio, or like our link tree. I'll have that up on my personal page. So yeah, find me, Kris Myers, and then you can find everything else that I do.
Amazing. And Matt, let us know if you have any shows coming up or anything exciting in the city for people to check out, and where people can find you on the internet.
Yeah, I don't have an internet presence. I don't really do any shows, but I just got work as a dentist. I'm working at Bite Dentistry on College Street. If you have any problems with your teeth or mouth in general, please come down to Bite Dentistry. We are located at 321 Church Street. There's an inflatable man out front with a really fucked up mouth. You can't miss it.
Matt, can you do something about my TMJ?
Yeah, I know what that is for sure. As a dentist, what is that?
Oh, it's when your jaw doesn't shut properly.
Oh yeah. I have a big old clamp. I'll clamp you up good.
Preach.
Amazing. I can't really follow that, but you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at itsme_Cathryn, spelled Cathryn. Thank you again, and we'll check in next week. Take care. Bye.